And you see this headline, and are you surprised? I had another episode, probably a couple episodes, where I've had conversations with people talking about buying homes. I was looking for maybe a different home or doing a spec home, doing a spec build, and those conversations I've had about where homes are at right now, and a lot of those conversations, people thought the price was going to stay up forever. And I'm like, I don't know. If you factor in, I always ask myself, reoccurring theme on this channel, where would the economy be if we didn't pump in the extra trillions of dollars? And that's how I make my decisions. And unless we're going to continue to pump in those trillions, the market's not going to stay this way. So, doesn't look like we're going to keep printing money, which means these prices are probably going to come down to wherever the normal economy is. And my point was with these people is I don't want to buy a home just, throwing a number out, buy $1 million home today, and then you read this title right here where home sellers are lowering their prices at the fastest clip since 2019. I don't want to buy a house today for $1 million and then 3 years from now it's worth 700. I'm not about buying at the top. I mean, it's one of those things. If you plan on buying your home and staying there 30 years, good luck to you. Probably not a big deal. I'm just not interested in. I'm trying to make money, and I'm certainly not trying to lose money. I was watching homes go up, like I said, $500,000, $1 million off of their pricings from 2021. What the hell's going on? No other real value was created there. You start to believe you're in a bubble, and there's that saying that when bear markets hit, bear markets don't settle at fair market value. We saw that in 2008, right? When homes crashed, to build the house, you'll just say you're looking at this house. To build it right now, it would cost you 300,000. But to buy it, you could have bought it for probably like 150. Bear markets don't settle at fair market value. Maybe the fair market value was $300,000, but that's just not where the market was. And the same thing happens on the other side, where bubbles obviously don't focus on fair market value. Bubble's a bubble. There's supply and demand. We created this with too much money, and then we weren't allowed to do foreclosures, and then you could defer your mortgage. There's all these things going on. It screwed the market up. Once again, the government had its grimy mitts, and it caused a massive bubble. So I'm not surprised by seeing this. On top of the fact that homes aren't selling as fast now because the demand's starting to dry up because affordability is drying up as rates go up. Like, your buying power decreases. So you got to think about it. There's only so many people in this country that have a lot of money. Now, there's people that have a lot of money, and they have more money than they probably had in 2019. But when the home prices go up 50%, and then on top of it, interest rates go up, and they've probably have reduced your buying power by 25%. Who's got that extra money now? So at the end of the day, I just didn't want to be one of those people holding onto a house that I bought at peak. And it's like the people that bought Bitcoin at 60,000. They're like, well, if you never sell it, then you don't lose. Well, I get it, but I would have much rather buy into Bitcoin at 30,000 than the 60,000. Because when it gets back to 60, you're just back to even, and I'm up 100%. It's one of those things when, everyone's buying, you should be selling. When everyone's selling, you should be buying. Like, there's just different ways to look at things. I don't like to buy at hot points of the market. The first home I built at when 2008 hit. And I'm like, oh, this is a great time to build a home. Property was getting cheaper. Contractors were cheaper, materials were cheaper, everything was cheaper at that point. The problem is you have to make sure you have some money to take advantage of the downturn. And this is where I often say, these people are like, oh, the rich keep getting richer. The people that often say that have never actually been around rich people to see how they make their moves. Rich people get richer because they have money when there's opportunity. There was opportunity in 2008 in stocks. There was opportunity in real estate. there's always opportunities. The problem is we got this buy the dip mentality, and then you dollar cost average on the way down, and then it keeps going down, and now you don't have any more liquid cash to invest. So when the real opportunity comes along, you don't have any money. We overspent on you only live once, and I deserve this, and I have to go to Bali 2 times a year, and great opportunity presents itself, and you don't have the cash for it. So to be buying when everybody's selling means you need to have some cash on hand. It's one of those things. If you have all your money put to work all the time, and then something bad happens, then you don't have any money to take advantage of the downturn. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm just keeping my eye on stuff. There's a few pieces of land I'm looking at right now that I think would be nice for a spec home. I mean, one of them I think already came down like 100,000. Just gonna keep my eye on stuff, and is this gonna be 2008 again? I mean, that was a whole other beast. Do I think we're gonna see a correction in home prices? Yeah, I believe so. It's one of those things that you don't want to, in my mind anyways, if you have a $300,000 house and you could have made some money by selling at the peak, well, if you sold your home at peak and then you went and bought the next home at the peak, yeah, on your balance sheet you technically gained, except let's just say you sold your house that was $300,000 and you made a lot of money, but you bought a house for $450,000, but you bought the house at $450,000 at peak. When the $450,000 house falls back in price, then you actually have more to lose than you would have on the $300,000 house. I've been there, done that, seen that economy before. Yeah, no thanks. You sit tight, and that's the thing. Like, being impatient ends up costing you a lot of goddamn money. And we get these it's a craziness that goes on. It's a madness. It's a mania where we start to think like all the houses are going to sell and I'm never going to be able to buy a house again. It works that way in marketing, right? It's a sale in Sunday, and you feel like if you don't go get on the sale on Sunday, then you're going to lose out, and then you find out next week they have another sale. Same thing's going on in the housing market. People just got this mania that they felt that they had to go get a house before there was no more houses, and then we created this bubble, and rates were low, and now we got high interest rates, and people are starting to, they're not selling their houses as fast, so now you're starting to see those price reductions. You go on places like Realtor.com, you can sort in different ways. You can see the houses that are starting to come down in price. I've seen a few, again, coming down 100,000 on a property, maybe houses coming down, 30, 40, 50. Oh, you've been sitting on the market for a while now. You've been on the market 6 weeks, and these people probably thought, housing market's hot, I'm just going to throw the house out there. It's going to sell in 24 hours, multiple bids. Like, did we not think that was going to be abnormal? That homes had lines outside of them, 30, 40 people deep on opening day, and then getting, 3, 4, 5, 6 offers, often cash, 10% over asking price with no inspection. Did you think that market was going to last forever? It never doesn't. If we know anything in the financial markets, nothing lasts forever. It can be prolonged. You can have a prolonged recession. You can have a prolonged bull run. Nothing goes straight up or straight down forever. It can go sideways for a goddamn long time, though. I just don't think we're going sideways right now. I think you're going to see prices drop back down to something that's more reasonable. To have any kind of liquidity in the market, prices are going to have to be reasonable because interest rates are going up. We're not going to be able to have 6.5% to 7.5% mortgage rates with homes that are severely overpriced. Who can afford them? And you just can't. So, anyways, I stumbled upon this one, and I'm thinking, well, not all that surprising. It's just one of those things I don't like buying at the top. I don't know who does. I get it. This investment strategy of if you're hanging on to it for 10 or 20 years, then don't worry about it. But it's like, well, I want to take some profits, right? I'm thinking about the stock market the same way, and I don't give financial advice in any way, shape, or form, just my random thoughts. The stock market's up 4,000, 35,000, and I feel like we're getting overheated. I'm going to take some profits out. And then when it pulls back like we are now, then it's like, well, maybe I'm going to redeploy that money now. Maybe I'm going to buy some options, kind of play it safe. I'm looking for ways to make more money. I'm not just trying to just leave it there and talk about where it once was. If you never get to fish in the boat, then you never had it. So what if the stock market was at 35,000 and your account looked fat as hell, and it's like it was just a number in an account. If you didn't get some of that money moved over and you didn't take some profits, then it just doesn't matter. Because now I can just go buy in where you're at. What's the difference? The numbers go up and down. Same thing with homes, right? The problem is all the home prices went up and so did the property taxes. Whole other thing that you're going to start hitting this year. I already got my notice, right? My property taxes went up. And then you're also going to notice that your property taxes are going to go way up and you're not going to get any more services. And then the dumb part is your house probably isn't even worth as much as they're taxing you on, because they're going to tax you at the bubble price. And then prices are going to come down and you're going to have to go fight with the assessment department. Oh, man, that's the game. Anyways, if you have any thoughts on the housing market, drop a comment below.